Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Jazz Hands. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkonye and I'm also known as NdiNaija. Also known as NdiNaija on the intranets. I make videos on planning, organization-ish, pursuing my dreams, chasing my American dreams, and immigration. If you're interested in that, please stay tuned because today we have an immigration video for you. Okay, so today's video, I'm here to give you 5 tips to help you on your immigration journey in 2020. First one, ensure you have the right forms. The USCIS, which is the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, has a website. You should know that by now if you're planning on starting an immigration journey or if you're already on an immigration journey. So www.uscis.gov has all. Ensure you have the right forms. The USCIS website, which is www.uscis.gov, has all the forms listed. Now, when you're checking your forms, ensure that you're using the right edition of the forms. And if you see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes here because it's a lot of information. So the forms typically have the edition date at the bottom section of your form. If you've watched any of my previous videos where I'm showing you what the immigration form looks like and I'm completing it, or if I've already completed it, like in my last one, which was part 1 of the I-130 completion, you'll see the bottom of the form shows the edition date. Typically, the USCIS will not accept an earlier edition date except they state it in that link. For example, if the latest edition of a form, let's say the I-130, I believe that form was last updated in February of 2019. If you go on the USCIS page for that particular form, the I-130 form, you'll see an edition date. You click on where it says edition date and it'll tell you the last edition date that it will accept. Now, there are some forms like, say, this I-765, which is the work permit form, that it might accept forms that are earlier than the 2019 date or whatever it is. But it will state there the edition of the form that you should be using, and you would do yourself a very big favor to pay attention to that and ensure that is the form either you or your lawyer, your immigration preparer are completing. Okay? Second tip, check the fees. Check your fees. Check the money, the moolah. How much are you going to pay? The latest information is usually on the website. Now, about every 2 years, the USCIS reviews the costs of these forms. They review the costs of different areas, and they typically review it upwards. I recall that the last review was sometime in late 2016, 2017, and just last month, the USCIS published that they were going to upgrade the fees again. Call it an upgrade, but it's going to cost more money to apply for certain immigration benefits. And an immigration benefit allows you to have a certain status in the U.S., some sort of paper authorization that you can be here and do certain things. That's basically what an immigration benefit is. So if you're applying for a green card, that's an immigration benefit. If you're applying for naturalization, that's an immigration benefit. If you're applying for a work permit or refugee status, DACA, all of those are immigration benefits, okay? So ensure that you check your fees. Right now, this fee schedule that's slated to go into effect sometime next year, it'll actually go into effect 60 days after everything is ratified and agreed upon. So if you have any comments or issues with the fees, you would do well to hit the link that I'll put in the description box to review the fees and state your case. If you want the fees, fine. If you don't want the fees, fine. Or if you'd like the fees to remain where they are, fine. There is a little bit of controversy because it increases the cost of naturalization. It increases the cost for family-based reunification, and so on and so forth. Step 3, or tip number 3, gather your backup. What backup or evidence do you have to back up your immigration application? In the case of, I'll use one of the most common cases that requires a lot of documentation, the marriage-based immigration process. So, you meet this girl, you meet this guy, you might meet them online, you might meet them in person if they are here in the United States. You might meet them when you're studying abroad, you might meet them when you're traveling. You all might do a holiday in a different country and meet there. And you decide, this is the love of my life. Cannot leave you, sweetheart. Anyway, you discover that in order for you to come visit this person here in the United States, you need to fill out a bunch of forms. And then you discover that in order to stay here with the new love of your life, you need to fill out a couple of forms. In addition to completing these forms, you need to prove what is called a bona fide marriage. Yes, you need to show people that you're truly married for real. Yes. And there's a bunch of things, or there are a bunch of documentations that you need to show the USCIS to prove that you're married. And that it's a bona fide marriage. You intend for it to grow. You intend for it to continue. So ensure that you have that documentation ready. Whatever you write in your form. So if you say, this is my date of birth, I'm 38 years old, you need to have a piece of paper that shows your date of birth. If you're 40 years old, if you're 20 years old, oh, speaking of which, you cannot complete an immigration form for, how do I put this delicately? You can fill out an immigration form for a beneficiary usually once you're over 21. Yes. So if you are a child, which is considered under 21 to the USCIS, you cannot. For example, some people who have to complete forms for their parents, you fill out, the process is called the IR-5, and you would fill out an I-130 and the adjustment of status forms and all of those forms, but you can't do it until you are 21. So hang in there, 20-year-olds, you're almost there. Other things that you'll need to do and you'll need to make sure you have either lined up or you can get those lined up are things like police reports. If you're an international person, you come to this country from outside the United States and you're changing your status, or if you live outside the United States and you are an adult and you're intending to come into the United States, you need to prove to the USCIS that you're not just some criminal who's running away. So you'll need to get a police report. Every city that you've lived in for over 6 months, once you pass the age of 18, you will be required to provide a police report from each of those entities. So ensure you put the time it'll take to get all that documentation together. Also ensure that the money for all those things, you have that set up. Which leads me to my 4th tip. Save money. Yes, save money. I also talk about budgeting and savings on this channel. And one of the biggest things that has helped me in just any endeavor so far financially is sinking funds. And immigration is a very good place, or is a very good process to practice your sinking fund game. Now, the average cost of immigration, just completing the forms and filling it out, is about $1,800, right? Now, this doesn't include postage. It doesn't include your medical reports. And, oh, by the way, speaking of medical reports, I should have included that in the last tip. But your medical reports are valid 60 days from when the medical examiner signs them. And then when they're turned in to the USCIS with the rest of your forms, they're valid for 2 years. So ensure that you have that 60-day window is accounted for when you do your medicals, your immigration medicals. It's a special, different type of medical report. Okay, so we were talking about funds, sinking funds. I have my calculator here to calculate the average cost of an immigration, of completing an immigration form. Let's say the family-based immigration form, like someone who got married to a U.S. citizen, or you're a U.S. citizen that got married to a non-citizen. That's what I should really say. So the average cost of the form is about $1,800. And this might appear backwards for you. Now, if you divide, this is the end of December, right? Let's call it January. Now, if you intend to complete that form and submit it sometime around September of next year, you will divide this number by 9 because you have 9 months. That's about $200 every month until then. That doesn't include things like I said, the medical report, any vaccinations, passport photographs. That shouldn't be expensive. At least in the United States, it's not expensive. But it doesn't include things like transportation and other fees that would be required. So ensure that you're building up that money. Now, you may not have $2,000 right away sitting in a bank account, but over the course of 6 months, if you're able to move some things around, squeeze here and there, you should be able to put $200, $300 aside in order to get ready for your immigration journey that will start in September, using our example. Even if you have a year, just keep putting some money aside, put little, bits and pieces of money aside, and before you know it, you have everything that's required. Tip number 5. Doo-doo, 5, the magic number. The 5th tip is to submit the forms. It might seem obvious, but sometimes we get stuck in an endless loop of preparation. And you think, oh, it's just never enough. But look at the checklists. The USCIS provides a checklist. If you're using a lawyer, your lawyer will help you. If you're using an immigration preparer, somebody like myself, we will help you to make sure you have all your ducks in a row, because there are several ducks. Lots and lots of ducks. Sorry for all the hand movements, but I'm trying to show you that there's a lot of information required. And you have checklists available. There are a lot of resources available on the internet. You can actually do this yourself. I've done it myself. You can do this yourself. So let's go over the tips once more, right? 1, ensure you have the right forms. 2, check your fees and ensure you're going to pay the correct fees. 3, gather up your backup, your evidence, whatever it's called, whatever is going to show that what you're saying in the forms is correct. Gather it up. 4, save money. Use a sinking fund. And 5, submit those forms. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you've come this far in the video and you think, hey, this is some good information, hit the like button down below and please consider subscribing. My email address is below. I also help people go through this immigration journey. If you would like to join me, my email is NdiNaija@gmail.com. It's linked down below in the description box. So if you have any questions, comments, anything, put them down in the comment box below. If you want to make things more private, then email me and we shall discuss. Thank you so much for watching. Have a happy and productive immigration journey in 2020. Bye.